has 6 shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some frickin' money. It's time for Puck It with Jo.
Good morning and happy Wednesday, everyone. It's time for Puck It with Jo over here on SportsGrid, SportsGrid TV on X. I hope everyone's having a fantastic start to their Wednesday. Now, we had some great games yesterday, 10 games out there on the ice, and the Sharks did not disappoint us in that first period, able to walk away with that plus money for us in the first period. When we look at the rest of the games out there, Vegas got the win in a tight battle there at home. So winning over the Edmonton Oilers 1-0. That closed out our night last night. Just looking at some of the other matchups, we saw Montreal get the win over the New York Islanders. The Seattle Seahawks coming out, or Seattle Kraken coming out stronger than I expected versus the Carolina Hurricanes, winning at 4-2. The Sharks did win that full game over the Caps, winning 2-1 with that goal coming in the first period and the third, actually in overtime for them there. Lots of overtime games, not the ones I really wanted last night. We did see Boston and Detroit go to overtime, with Boston getting a 3-2 win. The Pittsburgh Penguins and the Florida Panthers going to overtime, which we wanted. 5-4 win for the Pens. The Buffalo Sabres and the Colorado Avalanche unable to go to overtime, but Colorado winning that 5-4. Vancouver, Minnesota, a 3-2 win for the Wild, and the St. Louis Blues pulling off the upset without Binghamton in goal. I thought for sure it would be the win with Binghamton, but Joe Hofer stepped in, was able to get the win for St. Louis. So I'm kicking myself. I jumped off that with the emotional game between the Calgary Flames and the Columbus Blue Jackets, with Calgary winning that one 3-1. So it was a great night out there on the ice, but like I said, 4 games on the ice today. We're going to go over all of these games today. Let's make some freaking money. Good day to everyone out there. Vinny, thank you for being here. Kev, thank you for being here. And Matt, thank you for being here. So it is noon Eastern. Let's kick off with these games. Talk out all of them. And if you can't stick around, come back. We'll do the recap at the end of the show. The Boston Bruins, a Regional 6 meeting here with the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, Boston is on the second night of a back-to-back, and they roll in as the minus 160 favorite here. We got plus 132 for the Chicago Blackhawks, total 5.5. Minus 114 to the under, minus 106 to the over in this one. Swayman expected in goal for Boston tonight, and Peter Mrazek here for the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, I'm concerned about the special teams still for Boston. That power play just hasn't been clicking strong enough, and the kill hasn't been great either. The power play is only converting overall in the season at 12.4%. That kill coming in at 78.1%. The Chicago Blackhawks always play the Boston Bruins hard, but they haven't been able to win in the last 7 meetings versus Boston in this original 6 matchup. The last time the Chicago Blackhawks got the win was back on February 5th, 2020. So it has been a hot minute since Chicago's been able to beat the Boston Bruins. I think they're going to put up a huge fight tonight. I really like how Chicago is clicking on that power play. The power play is converting at 23.5%. They've scored 3 or less goals in 11 of their past 12 games. So this is a team that isn't scoring a lot. We know Boston really tries to lock down on that defensive side of the puck, but on the second night of a back-to-back here, off the game versus the Red Wings in overtime, I do expect the Chicago Blackhawks to put up some goals tonight. So I'm looking at the Chicago Blackhawks. Their team total is coming in at 2.5. I will take that to the over. I hope they can capitalize on tired legs here of the defense of Boston as this game goes on. Now, I do think it's going to be a sweat to get over the 2.5. Boston has, on no rest, won both of their games on no rest this season, but they've also lost 5 of their last 6 on no rest, coming off of overtime. So it's a hard situation here for them, not only on the back-to-back, but the overtime back-to-back. So if you think Chicago can win this straight up, you're getting so much money on the money line, coming in at plus 132. I honestly think if they win this, it's because they score 3 goals. I don't see them winning it 2-1 versus the Boston Bruins. So I like the over 2.5 because that does give us the bubble of the Bruins coming out and still winning this game in a 4-3 style win. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of trade rumors out there for people. You guys say I'm breaking up. Is the mic breaking up right now? I apologize if I am. So I'm seeing all my mic levels are sitting at normal. Let me know if it continues out there, you guys. Good morning for everyone. Yeah, it looks like it should be an under game for sure. So that total is sitting in this game at 5.5. I think it's a 3-2 win for Chicago, and that's where I'm kind of going with this one. I just look at the overtime situation. If the Boston Bruins hadn't gone to overtime last night, I really do think it would be a different story here. But with them going to overtime, I just can't trust them on that second night of a back-to-back. And Swayman hasn't been at his best as of yet. So that is where I'm going in that one. Are you guys really seeing a bad connection? Is everyone seeing that? Okay. That is really strange. I'm getting a bad connection, you guys. Deepest apologies. Okay, I got you guys. I just went in and out to see if that connection would be better. Hopefully it is better. Now I'm seeing everything is, all my levels are at normal. So hopefully it gets better here. Again, recap for this game. I'm looking at the Chicago Blackhawks to get over 2.5 goals. I think they can come in and put up a fight here versus the Boston Bruins, who are off not only the second night of a back-to-back, but they're off of overtime versus the Red Wings in a hard battle. Let's look at the Nashville Predators taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. I really do think the Dogs are barking in this matchup with the Nashville Predators. There's a bunch of trends we're going to look at, bunch of players that are from the Toronto area, especially Stamkos and Ryan O'Reilly. So we're going to look at them. Jonathan Marchessault is coming in for some kind of, there's records to be hit in these games. So let's look at the Preds. They're plus 122. The Toronto Maple Leafs minus 146. We're starting to lose value here on the Predators. They were a bigger underdog just hours ago. This total sitting at 5.5, minus 134 to the over in this one. Saros is expected here for the Preds. Now, Saros is a really strong save percentage versus the Toronto Maple Leafs in his career. It's a 938 save percentage. He's got a 2.27 goals against average, and we got Joseph Wall coming in here for Toronto. We look at Toronto. They've won their last two. They were able to get that win versus Chicago on Monday. It was a 4-1 win in a game I really thought that could have been a letdown spot. I looked at them coming off that great game versus Tampa, and we know Toronto can let these games go. Versus the Nashville Predators here, the Nashville Predators have lost their last four, but when you really start to break that down, how they've lost their last four, just don't look at the four losses. Look at who they've played and if they've gone to overtime. 3 of the last 4 with the last 3 straight have gone to overtime. They lost in overtime to the Flyers, the Lightning, and the Wild. So they are putting up big battles out there with these teams that they have been playing. Now, this is the first night of a back-to-back. They've got Montreal on deck tomorrow. They're not going to look ahead. They are really ready to play the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I do think we get the best effort out of them. They can't afford another loss. They're sitting 7th in the Central. I'm going to look here at the Preds to come out and be able to get it done. I think the first period over 1.5 goals is a great way to go at minus 118 as well. We know this Predators team can get up in some periods and let games go, so I will put a half a unit on that first period as well for the Nashville Predators. Now, it's scary. I know they've lost their last 9 as a dog. And they've lost their last 6 coming off of overtime. So their last game was an overtime loss to the Wild on Saturday. So those overtime trends really going against us. It is Wednesday, though. They've had plenty of time to recover from that overtime. Well, the 3 overtime games that they've played as of late. The second line really isn't clicking here, but I do expect more out of Stamkos tonight. I talked about Stamkos, and you can take him for a point tonight at minus 115. I'm also going to take Stamkos for 2+ points tonight. That's coming in at plus 450. So Stamkos against his home team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, has played 52 games in his career. Now, in those 52 games, he's been able to put up 66 points, 23 goals, and 43 assists. So I'm looking for a big impact out of Stamkos in this one tonight. I really do think he can get there. He's also on a 10-game point streak right now. 3 goals versus Leafs, 3 goals and 14 assists in his last 10 games versus them. So we see that recency as well when we look at him. So I do think here he can have a big night. He had a 4-point effort back in December 2021 versus the Leafs. So this is a team, you look at Stamkos versus his home team, and that is where I have to put my money. Now, Ryan O'Reilly, also from the Toronto area, he's 2 assists away from 500. So I would look at Ryan O'Reilly as well for those points tonight. I think they can come. Yossi has been so strong at getting those goals as well. 7 goals and 15 assists on the season. Philip Forsberg, 9 goals and 8 assists. And then Ryan O'Reilly, we were just talking about him, 5 goals and 9 assists on the season. So those are your playmakers for the Predators. They all have to step up if they're going to get the win. I know we've seen so much out of Mitch Marner here for the Leafs. We've seen a lot out of Nylander as well and Austin Matthews, but this Preds team is so hungry. I do think they can get that done. Now, they have off of overtime covered the puck line in the last 6 being a dog, so it should be that tight matchup that we're expecting out there, but I do think Stamkos will be the difference maker, and I do think he comes out nice and strong. That was the trend that I was looking for. Jonathan Marchessault 1 point away from his 500th. I am going to drop a link for you guys here in the chat for anyone that doesn't know where to look at some of these hockey trends and references, because I really do believe in you guys just being able to get the best of this information yourself. So just dropping that in the chat right now. It's hockeyreferences.com. You can look at the shutouts, the goalie wins, the goalie games, points, assists, goals, games played. So I'm not here to gatekeep any of the information and where I find that information. So you guys make sure you always check that out. It's so important looking at these players and where they're going and what they're playing for out there. So Matthews, anytime goal. Yeah, Kev, I don't mind Matthews for the anytime goal. I do think we're going to get the goals in this game. The first period over 1.5 coming in at -118. This game to the over, I'm shocked. It's a 5.5. You're going to lay the juice at -134, but I'm expecting the points and the goals to come for these players tonight. Saros has allowed 3 or fewer goals in 12 of his last 13. Yeah, Saros is looking stronger out there as well. So he needs to play strong in net. Timothy, I'm sorry you don't think Nashville's hot. Nashville isn't hot right now. They have lost their last 4. I completely know. So, yeah, Stamkos is definitely someone you want to look at. 2+ points for Stamkos tonight, I think holds so much value in this matchup. Again, the 2+ points coming in at +450. If you want to ladder it up and do 1 point at -115, 2+ points at +450, and take it up to 3+ points, I wouldn't blame you putting a third of a unit on each. I think Stamkos definitely someone that you want to have on your betting card tonight. Let's look at the Vegas Golden Knights. They're coming off the second night of a back-to-back after taking down Edmonton 1-0 last night. Now, I had that game to go to overtime, so I was fuming Edmonton wasn't able to get another goal in that third period. If you look at the shots on goal, Edmonton held Vegas to. Vegas had the goal in the first period. They only had a total of 16 shots all game on net. So it was a strong defensive battle out there. The Edmonton Oilers really clamped down on the defensive side, but offensively couldn't tie it up and push it to OT for us. Edmonton always does something to let me down, you guys. I was disappointed to see, but then you have the Vegas Golden Knights of that hard physical defensive battle out there on the ice last night, rolling in as a -170 favorite versus the Anaheim Ducks, who covered the puck line in their last 10. They've been scrappy. Dostal's been hot in goal. We got a total of 6.5, -120 to the under. I think the Ducks are quacking slightly in this. I'll take a chance on the Ducks. I do think Vegas is a better team. We know that, but off of that game, and then they got Samsonov in goal. Samsonov, we can't trust. Samsonov allows way too many goals into his net, especially as of late. And when we look here at Dostal and what he's been able to do for the Anaheim Ducks, and sure, the Ducks allow a lot of shots on him, but when we look at Dostal is standing on his head in a lot of these games, and I think he's really going to step up. At home here, this team's off a win in a shootout versus the Sens. They got that 4-3 win. This team has been playing strong, covering the puck line, like I said, in their last 10. Now, they have lost their last 6 at home versus the Pacific, and we know Vegas sitting top in the Pacific here, and the Anaheim Ducks sitting last. But I think this will come down to a goaltending battle. I will rely on Dostal to get us the win. I will look at Dostal's save shots on goal tonight. Even though Vegas was only able to put up 16 versus Edmonton, we don't have the defense here that Edmonton has in the Ducks. So I would look at that. I would also look here at the first period for the Anaheim Ducks to come out nice and hot. The first period money line is coming in at plus 122. Now, I want to take reverse puck line. FanDuel doesn't offer the reverse puck line, but if you can lay a half a goal in the first period, I'm not going to be shocked if the Ducks come out in the first period, go up 1-0 or 2-1. I really do think the Ducks have every ability to come out nice and strong in this first period. So if your book offers reverse puck line on the Anaheim Ducks in the first period, I would hit on that. You're going to get great plus money at like plus 320. I've seen it on some other books, but again, not listed over there on FanDuel. The goal in the first period for the Anaheim Ducks, we looked at this with the Sharks yesterday. They're juicing it way too high. There's no way I want to touch it. Yesterday, we got the Sharks in the first period for that anytime goal at minus 118. Today, the Ducks in the first period for the anytime goal is minus 140. That's gross. I don't want to play on that. I would rather just take the Ducks first period money line, the reverse puck line if you can hit on it. And then let's look at Troy Terry for the anytime goal. We know he's been the playmaker here. He's coming in at plus 250, but don't count out Thomas Hertl. And like I said, I expect some goals to come in this one. But I don't know if it goes over that total. I think the Ducks could win this 3-2. So Thomas Hertl for the goal for Vegas is coming in at plus 230. He's played strong versus Vegas. He's been able to score a goal in 3 of the last 4 versus the Anaheim Ducks, not versus Vegas, versus the Anaheim Ducks. So Thomas Hertl plus 230 for the anytime goal for Vegas, and then Troy Terry here for the Anaheim Ducks for the anytime goal at plus 250. I think you can also look at the Ducks team total over 2.5. It's coming in at minus 134. Again, Samsonov is allowing those goals to come in, and I expect this to be a 3-2 win for the Anaheim Ducks in this matchup. So I'm asking for a lot, you guys, but if you don't ask for a lot, what are you going to get? Mark Stone is back tonight. Okay, so let's look at this. I did not see confirmation of him back. I want to see if the books are putting Mark Stone on here for the goals. So he's not yet listed on FanDuel for an anytime goal, and that's where I really go to get full confirmation if he is going to be on the roster. But if Mark Stone is back, that is great news for the Vegas Golden Knights. I do think it puts him a little bit out of rhythm, though. I am not going to touch Mark Stone. Patrick Laine, though, I tell you, for Montreal yesterday, taking him, if you guys took him for that first goal, it didn't come till the second period. He got the first goal of the game. It was absolutely beautiful. We had him for the anytime goal as well. Great plus money on both of those bets. So I hope you guys were able to cash on that. Yeah, Mark Stone is a difference maker out there on the ice, so I wouldn't be surprised if he came out nice and strong. But I can't fade this Ducks team right now, especially with Samsonov. So if you don't want to look at the Ducks on the first period, on the full game, I would look at the Ducks just team total over 2.5 for this game to go completely over. We know Mark Stone could come out and be the driver of 3 or 4 of these goals. So that's where I would go. Yeah, he's going to be motivated. He is a very motivated guy out there on the ice, a strong player for sure. So let me know what you guys are thinking of this matchup. It really comes down to goaltending. Samsonov versus Dostal. If Dostal can go over his save shots on goal prop, I think they win this. So Dostal doesn't have a save shot on goal prop as of yet. Let me just double check that before I completely say. Yeah, there's no save shots on goal prop yet for Dostal. If he's coming out with a number of 26, 27, 28 and a half, hit it to the over. I think that he will be able to go over that number, win or lose here for the Anaheim Ducks. Okay, last game, you guys. We got the Dallas Stars taking on the LA Kings. Straight under game for me. Total of 5.5 coming in at plus 100 to the under. The Dallas Stars and the LA Kings are so strong defensively. The Dallas Stars minus 115 on the money line, minus 104 on the LA Kings. Really hard to not take the LA Kings here at home at minus 104. They're 8-2-1 at home this season. This team has been playing strong. The stronger goaltender, though, is in net here for the Dallas Stars with Jake Ottinger. He's 13-4-0 with a 2.38 goals against average and a 915 save percentage. So he is being hot. David Rittich expected here for the LA Kings. Now he's 9-6 with a 2.48 goals against average, but that save percentage is below 900 at 887. What we do see out of the Kings, the best team at locking down, limiting their opponent's ability to get these shots, they give him extra support as well. I'm expecting that extra support to come. They hold opponents to 24.2 shots on goal. Their kill is 80%. The kill here of the Dallas Stars is stronger at 82.6%. They're allowing 27.6 opportunities, though, on their net. So Jake Ottinger will have to play strong in this one. Both of these teams coming in on hot streaks. Both have won their last 3. Now, Dallas started off shaky on the road. They have been better as of late. They've won 4 of their past 6 road games. So we have seen that step up. I like the under, you guys. I think the under is the best way to go. Wyatt Johnson, though, has scored a goal in each of the Stars' last 3 games against the LA Kings. So if you want to look at a goal score for the Dallas Stars, Wyatt Johnson seems to step up versus the Kings, knows how to hit them. Now, Kopitar, he's a game $13.99 today. So next game for Kopitar out there on the ice will be versus the Wild on Saturday. That will be game 1400. That's a milestone game. I will look for Kopitar for his points in that game. I'm going to stay off him today. Well, he could get the point today. Kopitar has been so impactful here for the LA Kings. I'm going to stay off it because I think this is a low-scoring battle. Harder for us to be able to hit it. Now, when Dallas rolls in to LA, the underdog has won the last 4. So depending on who the books has put as the underdog when Dallas is in town, that they have been able to get the win. The Kings are the slight underdog in this one, you guys. So like I said, it's hard not to take the Kings on the money line here to get the win at minus 104 at home. But again, Dallas has a better goaltending. We've got strong defenses on both sides. We've got offenses that are both averaging right around 3 goals per game. Both of these teams on a hot streak. The power plays are very similar. This will come down to puck luck. I really do believe it. Which goaltender has the hotter night? And Jake Ottinger is the hotter goaltender. So I don't want to jump on a side. Give me the under 5.5. The Kings are 6-2-1 in their last 9 to the under, allowing 2 or 3 goals in 6 of their past 7. So they've been really strong at locking down their opponents here. So the under 5.5. You guys, let's do the recap. I know it is really hard to go under a 5.5. Kopitar, Terry, Stamkos, anytime goal parlayed with Marchessault. Yeah, I like where you're going there, Larry. I think that is a good bet there for sure. Okay, you guys, recap time. We are at the 23-minute mark. Okay, 23-minute mark. Let's get going here. Again, 4 games out there on the ice today, you guys. Kicking off with the Boston Bruins taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Original 6th matchup here that the Boston Bruins have dominated since February of 2020. Could that change tonight? It has every ability to change if the Chicago Blackhawks can put those goals on the board. I'm going to take the Chicago Blackhawks over 2.5 goals. Yes, this team has been struggling to score those goals, but we look at Boston. They are off an overtime win versus the Red Wings last night. Now, they are 2-0 in games on the second night of a back-to-back so far this season, but when we look at them off of overtime games, they've lost 5 of their last 6. So we've got a Boston team on the second night of a back-to-back off an overtime game. I don't like the chances of them locking this one down defensively. I think we're going to see the offense be able to capitalize here of Chicago. I think the best bet is over 2.5 goals for the Chicago Blackhawks coming in at plus money. Now, the Nashville Predators and the Toronto Maple Leafs, I do think the edge goes to the Predators in this matchup. I also wonder why Toronto's not a bigger favorite. You got to always question that when Toronto's not a $2 favorite at home. The books love to put them up there. I think the Predators first period money line as well as the first period over 1.5 makes sense in this matchup. Again, it is Stamkos that I think will be the difference maker. We've seen him versus his home team really step up in 52 games in his career versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's been able to put up a total of 66 points, most against any franchise that he's played against. 23 goals, 43 assists. Stamkos for the point tonight at -115. Stamkos for 2+ points at +450. And if you want to ladder it up to 3+ points, I don't hate it either. You're going to get amazing value. Now, Ryan O'Reilly's 2 assists away from 500, and Ryan O'Reilly is from the Toronto greater area as well. So I would look at him to come out nice and strong. We know Yossi has been strong as well. If you just want to look at the Predators team total, I think that is another strong way to go in this one. We know Toronto is going to come out with fire as well tonight with their full lineup, nice and healthy. Mitch Marner, we've had William Nylander, Austin Matthews. The players on this team are so strong. Now, no real look ahead for them. They play Friday versus the Capitals, so they're going to bring their best here. I did think the Chicago game would be the letdown, but this team is rolling hot. So Preds for me, but I'm not shocked if Toronto puts up their share of the goals as well. The Vegas Golden Knights versus the Anaheim Ducks. Now, you guys are floating around Mark Stone being back in the lineup. I think no matter what, the goaltender I can trust is really Dostal. I can't trust Samsonov right now. He's allowing too many goals to come in. I think Troy Terry can find the back of Samsonov's net. That's coming in at +250. I like the Ducks team total over 2.5. That's coming in at -134. With Mark Stone back in the lineup, I understand why you guys wouldn't want to get behind the Ducks on the puck line. Here, they have covered the puck line in their last 10. There's not enough value. The other thing that concerns me, Vegas is rolling in here only at -170. Best team in the Pacific versus the worst team in the Pacific. Why aren't they a -240 favorite in this matchup? You've always got to look at those lines and what they're trying to tell you. It feels like they're begging you to take Vegas just money line odds here. It's a short price for Vegas on the road. Vegas has had those struggles, though, and I just can't get behind it. It is a lot of juice, but a short juice for a Vegas team versus an Anaheim Ducks team. I know Vegas has already beat them this season. Anaheim, I think, responds in this one. I'll take their team total over the 2.5. I'll take Troy Terry for the anytime goal. I'll take the Ducks money line as well in the first period for a sprinkle. So I think this is a nice one for them. Mark Stone, if he's back in the lineup, you know you got to look at his points. But Thomas Hertl for the goal, I'll look at here for the Vegas Golden Knights at +230. And then last but not least, the Dallas Stars versus the LA Kings. Give me the under 5.5 at +100. Defensive battle out there. Whichever goaltender plays the better game, which Ottinger is the better goaltender between the two, will come away with the win. Again, it's hard not to just look at the LA Kings as a slight underdog at -104 here at home. It's a prime opportunity for them to take their 8-2-1 record home to 9-2-1. The Stars haven't been that great out there on the road, but they have won 4 of their last 6. It was a rough start. So give me the under 5.5. If you want a goal scorer here, Wyatt Johnson has really stepped up versus the LA Kings, scoring in the last 3 versus the Kings. So that is where your value does lie. But you guys, thank you so much for joining me here on Pocket with Jo over on SportsGrid TV on X. I appreciate each and every single one of you. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that retweet button, hit the subscribe button, and see me back here tomorrow, noon Eastern. Make sure you check out that link I threw in the live chat for all of those milestones that players are looking to reach in hockey. It's a fantastic resource when you're looking for an anytime goal scorer, when you're looking for a goalie to have a big night, making sure you're on top of all of those players. So many players in the league, looking at those kind of sleeper players that are hitting, game 500 or goal or game 100, those kind of things. So you guys, I I appreciate each and every one of you. I see all of your comments rolling in. Have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow, and stay tuned for my Cup of Joe. We hit it big with Villanova yesterday. Hopefully some of you guys tailed Villanova, and also Eric Dixon. We ulted his number versus Cincinnati. He had 31 points, you guys. So if you rode that ult with Dixon for his 20, 25, and 30. The 30, you guys, was 30 plus points out there on the court. Straight freaking money. So I'll have another college basketball Cup of Joe coming your way here shortly. You guys, take care. We'll talk tomorrow.